Hi, my friend. It's Pat Sloan here on Block Wednesday. We are into Fall Frolic, block number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, 6 is apple picking. Ta-da! Apple picking is, I think, a tradition for fall. I mean, apples in fall is like pumpkins in fall. You have to do apples. That is when the harvest is the richest and everybody can just go and get freshest apples ever. When I was a kid, we lived in New Jersey, in the apple growing area of New Jersey. So I have great memories of crisp weekend days where my mom and my dad and my brother and I would all bundle up and we'd go out to the orchard where they would have, you know, a building that was all open, like you walked in like you do, and and it was just, they would have warm donuts and apple cider, and then these baskets and baskets of all the different apples. I don't remember as a kid actually doing apple picking. We probably did, but it was more, we just went to the market to get the fresh apples. Both my parents love apples, so that was really a wonderful memory. So when you make your apple picking block today, if you have a favorite apple that you love, like I think I'd like to do an apple taste test, because nowadays you can get the varieties where you live. You can get a large variety and types of apples. And next year I definitely want to, in the fall, go apple picking. That's going to be on my list. So this is the block. Let me give you a few things about the fabric. The neat thing about the apple picking block is that 9 patch gives you some area to play around with colors to see how it might look. You know, you can get kind of a chain effect. You can get some sort of like alternate background sort of behind the center image. So I'm just going to show you here the extra page that I give you, because I'm always giving you a layout to use the block, either just showing you what it looks like in repeat or with sashings or maybe drop settings. And then I give you a coloring sheet. And if you've never used a coloring sheet, this might be one to use it on. When you're taking a look at it, it can be really helpful to play around with that background. Now, I used a pen, and now I wish I'd used a marker, because that would have filled it in a little bit better. But here what I did was see what I might get to develop a chain. Now, I don't want to totally leave all these as blank. I don't want to leave them all the same color, but you could definitely do that and get the chain. And I mean, if these were all the background fabric, that would pop, pop, pop. But I'm going to make some of these another fabric and hopefully still get that chain effect. The interesting part here is that on this one, I colored the background 4 squares similar to this burst in the middle to give it a little extra framing around it. So I think that would be really cool. Then you could also shade these 9 patches with the fabrics different ways and play around with it. So on this layout, you have a way to go ahead and look at what options might be. So while we're down here, let's go ahead, and I've got the block, and I have got red and brown as some options because we're in fall. So Fall Frolic, let's first look at the sort of brown version. So with the brown version, I did, this would be the sort of, burst. It's like, I call it like a starburst, like the starburst in the middle. This would be the center. And then I want all of those little sew and flip points, either for the center star or here. I really want them to be strong. I want them to be high contrast, so they don't get lost because they're small. Now I could even strengthen the star image more by making it the green. So if I made the star image the green and the points, I mean, that would be really focused, but I want to use something extra in there. Then I was looking at, for this version, I would maybe use a brown for the 9 patches and see if I could get either just do it as a regular 9 patch like it's shaded here. I could alternate it with maybe add another color, but there you go. That was the brown version. And then this is the one I ended up with because I wanted to do the red and green. I had not done red and green yet. I'd done red and aqua. So I have this green in the middle. And I went around and I played with some of the darker greens on here. But because the reds are so dark, it really needs the black in order to see it, because otherwise it gets too lost. And I don't want a black star in the middle because I already did that. So I want to just use the star points as black. Now the chain part, I'm going to try to get the chain effect. And so in auditioning, that's where the challenge is. You know, how can I see it? Can I make it happen? So I think if I kept it red and green primarily, so I did the green, the chain effect with green, then in the rest of the 9 patch, so here's the chain effect would be like through here, right? These 3 would be this green. But then these 2, I don't want a fabric that competes. So I'm thinking the yellow will work because this still lets the green pop off the surface and be the focus. So that is the direction of the block. So if I did change out this middle to a different color, it would be pretty solid and dark with this particular color set. But I wanted to take some squares and show you using the red again just around the outside, which would sort of frame out this unit and make it a little bit fuller color-wise. And you see what a difference that makes? That's huge. It just is such a transformation of the block. You could also just have moved them to the middle and give them a little pop of color out here. There we go. That would be a way to just add another little color out there, just something fun. So that gives it like sort of a pop out in that frame. And the chain worked out pretty good, but I would say again, like I mentioned in the color part, if you want a strong chain across here, then these probably should all be lights. Like you could have done, you know, different lights, but it does start to take away from the chain and if they're not all really light. So where's it gonna go? Let's see how they all look up here together. So I've got all those sashings. I did not get any of the paper off the other backs yet, so there's still paper behind those economy blocks, and so I want to work on getting the paper off of there. I do have all of the strips done and the sides cut, so everything is ready to go once the last 3 blocks are done. So I had a question that I want to answer. One of our friends asked me, what thread do I like to use when I'm quilting? I have a specific thread. I work with the Aurifil Thread Company. I have thread collections. I've been sewing with Aurifil thread for many years now. Oh, you know, way long time ago, the marketing director, Alex Veronelli, wrote me and he said, could I send you some thread? Would you please try it? This was when they were first developing their company. They are a branch of the Aurifil Corporation. This is Aurifil USA, which specializes in thread for quilt makers. It is the president of the company is Elena Gregati, and Elena Gregati's father owns the main Aurifil Corporation and manufacturing in Milan, Italy. And they're all produced in Italy, all the threads. So this is my thread box. The neutrals have, you know, all the different main colors that you need. So if you like to sew with neutrals, this is the great box to get. And I'm going to link you down below over to the Fat Quarter Shop where you can pick it up. And I want to just tell you that the spools all come in the regular size. I call this the regular size because, you know, when you're doing work, you really need this size. But then they also come in that small size, which, you know, if you're doing a lot of applique or switching colors just for small things, you know, it's nice to have a bunch of different colors. But they all come wrapped in plastic, so it keeps them nice and clean. And for the big spools, if you didn't know, the ends pop off so that you can take the thread here and lock it underneath so that it doesn't, those tails don't tangle up. I would cut that off, of course, but I want you to see it. And the bottom tells you all of the information about the thread and the color number, and they have die lot numbers for their thread as well. So if you were, you know, trying to really be very specific and needed that, it is on there. So those are my favorite threads. There are also cones, which I didn't grab the cone, but the cones are like all thread cones. And those are fabulous if you do a lot of sewing with a basic color. So if you want to get a thread of like an off-white or gray or black, then you can wind a bunch of bobbins just off of the cone. You can sew with the cone, and you know, it just will go forever and ever and ever. Now the interesting part about the Aurifil threads is that there is more thread on their spool than other companies' thread. So when you buy one spool, you are getting more thread, so it lasts longer. These are low lint cotton threads, which is great. I love to sew with cotton threads with my cotton fabric. That's what I like. That's the combo I like. Cotton, cotton, all cotton. And theirs is low lint, which means you're not developing all that down in your machine as often. Still going to have lint because it's cotton. You know, you don't get away from that, but it is low lint, which is wonderful. And they're very meticulous. They're a wonderful company. They're all very good friends of mine since I've been working with them almost since they started developing the branch specific for quilt makers. So and they're all passionate about quilting. They are just a super group of people, and I think you will love their thread if you've not tried it. So you can go down, link down below, and at my website today is also the link so you can try out my thread. Okay, a little mail call, so I want to tell the mail call. This was from Terry. She sent me this really pretty card. Look at that. Look how pretty that is, all hand done. Then she sent me a bunch of fabric with the edges. Look at the trains on the Thomas the Truck. That's so cute. My nephew loved that. I love that Thomas the Truck stuff. Oh, and there's another train one. And then she sent me seeds. This is so cool, Terry. I'm so excited. Here, moon plant seed pods. So I need to open this up, and she gave me instructions on what to do. But this is what the plant looks like. And then they make more seed pods, and so then the next year you can gather some and plant them again. I am super excited to try that. That is really awesome. Mwah! Thank you so much. And I want to thank everybody for all of the amazing love that you sent out for Dennis Dickinson and Greg and myself for losing our very good friend, Dennis's wife, Cindy, who is my best friend. She was my long arm quilter and just someone I spoke to every single day about something. So it's just, it's hard, but we're going to keep going because that's what Cindy would want us to do, of course. So I just wanted to tell you that it just meant the world to us to share about Cindy with all of you, because actually a lot of you knew her since she worked with my group and was an admin. She spoke and talked to a lot of you, but she also was part of these videos. Every time I would say I was sending something to the spa, I was sending it to Cindy. I have a lot of Cindy's quilting here in my house. Okay, my friend, it is time to go pick apples. Apple picking time. Oh, and also today, if you did not see about the next Wednesday Sew Along that starts after Fall Frolic, I have the fabric and all the information linked at my website again today in case you missed that last week. And next week, of course, is another block. Even though it is the day after my surgery, I will still have a block. And I will try to do the video beforehand. And if by some chance I don't get the video done and I don't feel up to doing it, I won't feel up to doing it. I can't, because I'm going to be in surgery the whole day before on Tuesday. So if I don't get it done beforehand, there will at least be a block but no video. So we'll just see where it goes, what I get done. All right. Mwah. I love you. See you online.